Alright, what is up, guys? Brian here, and this is my Lucha Underground review for last night's episode of Lucha Underground on the El Rey Network. So let's get right into it. We had three pretty good matches on last night's episode. Of course, two of them are were the final two matches in the second round of the Cueto Cup tournament. The first one was the Mac taking on Tejano in a pretty good back and forth matchup, in my opinion. But with a little bit of help from Famous B, Tejano would hit the Mac with the sit out powerbomb and pick up the victory. So Tejano advances to the quarterfinals of what they're calling it in the tournament of the Cueto Cup. We had a couple of not segments, but clips. One was involving Son of Havoc and Son of Madness. Son of Havoc was at a bar, and the bartender was getting ready to pass him a drink, but Son of Madness would take it. They then would start getting into not much of a big fight. Basically, they were like just reversing moves and stuff. And Son of Madness told Son of Havoc that one way or another you'll be back to the club. So obviously there is it's kind of a rival gang, these two were part of the same club, and apparently Son of Havoc left the club and he said he's never going to go back, but Son of Madness obviously was sent to make his life miserable until he comes back or whatever. I think it's a pretty good storyline. I think it's a pretty good story to see where it goes. But yeah, that was one of them. They had another one with the Rabbit Tribe, Paul London, and I don't know what the other guy's name is. There's two of them that wear a mask, but the one looks like the one they had wears that not striped suit, but that looks like a checkerboard or something like that. And Paul London and the other masked luchador, they were playing like checkers on this guy's chest. He was laying down, and Paul London won. But then Masquerita Sagrada would come in the locker room area, and he would bring them a present. Paul London was like, please don't be mad that we failed you in the Cueto Cup tournament. But Masquerita was like, he gave them the gift. Apparently he's their leader. And then they opened it up after some time and revealed there was a rabbit's foot with a note saying, "Hope this brings you better luck." And then they started screaming, that being Paul London and the other two. So obviously a weird trio, or a weird group for the Rabbit Tribe. The second match, and I'm sorry if I'm rushing through this, the second match was in the Cueto Cup tournament, second round. It was Drago taking on Pentagon Dark. This was actually a very good matchup as well. Very hard hitting, it was a very good matchup that saw Drago with the package pile driver putting down Drago, it was Pentagon using the package pile driver to put down Drago. Of course, Drago was accompanied by Cobra Moon, who has some kind of control over Drago. But Pentagon Dark won this matchup and advances to the next round of the Cueto Cup tournament. Afterwards, Pentagon would try to break the arm of Drago. Cobra Moon would get involved. She would get super kicked for her troubles from Pentagon. Aerostar would then come out to try to save Drago. Of course, Drago and Aerostar used to be friends. But Aerostar would wind up paying for that, as Drago would take him out, then would leave with Cobra Moon, and then Pentagon would proceed to break the arm of Aerostar. Obviously, Aerostar, like I said, got what's the word? He got what Drago was going to get, pretty much. And then after that, we had another clip of Pentagon running into Katrina. Of course, Katrina and Katrina's main man, Mil Muertes. He's in the Cueto Cup tournament. I believe he'll be taking on Pentagon, or he's going to be taking on somebody else. But she told Pentagon that wouldn't it be something if he was to advance and face Mil? She would also remind him of what Pentagon did to Mil Muertes, costing him the Lucha Underground title when they had the whole. I think it was the what was it? Aztec Warfare, and they had that whole feud going, and that was pretty much it for that one. I mean, it was nothing really, it was just Katrina saying, that they don't forget, telling Pentagon that her and Mil don't forget, and they would get revenge and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for that one. And then, of course, we had the main event. It was Rey Mysterio Jr. taking on the Darewolf, PJ Black, who, of course, representing the Worldwide Underground, and also who Rey Mysterio knew probably had orders from Lucha Underground champion Johnny Mundo to try to soften up Rey Mysterio before the title opportunity that Rey Mysterio has coming up in 4 weeks against Johnny at the Cueto Cup Finals. This was actually a pretty good matchup as well. I mean, it was a pretty good match until the end, where until like near the end of the match when the referee took a bump. He went down, and then, here comes Mundo, here comes the rest of the Worldwide Underground, like Jack Evans, and they started beating down Rey Mysterio. El Dragon Azteca Jr. would come out to try to even the odds. Taya would come out and take him out, and then they would try to put PJ Black, that being Mundo, and Mundo pulled PJ Black on top of Rey Mysterio to try to pin him, but it only got a 2 count, and then Rey Mysterio would counter a attempt of a Razor's Edge by PJ Black into a Hurricane Rana to the middle rope, and then would set up PJ Black for the 619. He would nail it, then hit a frog splash, and that would be it. Rey Mysterio picked up the win in that one. He then would get on the mic and make it very clear that he's going to beat Johnny Mundo for that Lucha Underground Championship in 4 weeks. There's nowhere to run, and that he was going to take the Lucha Underground title from Johnny Mundo. So that was pretty much it for this week's episode of Lucha Underground. I actually thought it was a pretty good show. I thought it was a pretty good episode this week. I'm really looking forward to that Mundo and Mysterio match. But like I said, this week's episode I thought was actually pretty good. There were, like I said, three pretty good matches. Nothing must see, and just like with the Raw, WWE Raw and stuff like that. But I mean, it was actually a pretty good episode this week for Lucha Underground. So, with that being said, if you guys watched last night's episode, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. This has been my recap of what took place on last night's Lucha Underground on the El Rey Network. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.